This video is showing you what sunscreen looks like under UV light. Did you know that sunscreen is basically melanin? What black people are born with is what they put in a bottle to protect their skin. So basically, melanin is our natural body's defense. It absorbs the sun UV rays while protecting our cells from damage. And the only thing that sunscreen does is copies that process. It's basically made to block and absorb the same rays, but is using chemicals and shit. Basically, sunscreen is just synthetic melanin. What black people are born with is what other people have to put in a bottle to protect their skin. It's melanin in a bottle. It's basically science trying to imitate what nature already gave us. And even though our skin carries that built-in protection, we can still use sunscreen to add that extra layer of defense. So next time you're putting sunscreen on your face, just remember, you're rubbing on melanin to protect you from the sun. Love yourself, black people. You are something special.
So lately we've been having a lot of news. I even recently did a video about melanin. If you go to an ordinary chemist shop here in Africa, you'll find cream, all sorts of cream. But then if you ask what kind of cream, those are creams for for appearance, cosmetic, lightening creams. People want to look more lighter and lighter and lighter, lighter to an extent that you are even willing to peel off your skin and remain with a very thin layer. And that's dangerous, So the ironical thing is that white people are wanting the melanin that you are trying to wipe off. White people are needing that melanin, but you are trying to erase it from yourself, You see, what we are doing is a brainwash. You lack the understanding that you are special and you are gorgeous and you are beautiful and you are handsome, You are all that. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, So listen to these people, what they have to say about melanin. I shall get back.
Now, I've run into this quite a few times where people are saying, because I have light skin, I can't possibly have abilities. And that it has to do with my DNA strands, that dark-skinned people have more DNA strands than light-skinned, and that's why they're superhuman. Well, let's look at this scientifically. First of all humans only have 2 DNA strands, but now, as we're going through this shift, we are supposed to be getting multiple strands of DNA above the 2 strands. And now scientists are backing this up, saying they're noticing in healthy humans quadrupling of DNA strands. So this is something happening on a great scale now as we're going through this quantum shift. It didn't just happen only to people with dark skin. Now, the fact that you have abilities to remote view and your pineal is activated has nothing to do with your skin either. It's not about melanin, it's about melatonin. Melatonin regulates your pigment, yes, but it also is the reason why your pineal is activated and why you have visions and they're fully online and you can remote view and see other places and you can telepathically communicate with other people. All that has to do with your pineal being activated. And the pineal also releases the melatonin. So I'm not sure where that comes from, but I am also from a long line of seers in the Irish and Scottish collective of humanity. So it's not about skin color. Humans were genetically engineered, in my opinion. And scientists are backing up this claim now, saying that all humans were dark-skinned or black-skinned prior to the 1500s. I know, it's the truth, is what they're saying, and that white, light-skinned, albino humans is a very new phenomenon. So this backs up the claim that some other entities came along and started genetically engineering what was the primal human, and we are the result of that. Now, I believe that humans had these abilities and that the reason that we are lacking these abilities is because our DNA was shut down. All of us, not just dark-skinned people, but everybody. And the result of the light-skinned feature or trait in a human being just has to do with the arrangement of genes. That's all. Because of the genetic engineering with these other beings. All of us are the result of that, but some of us still have dark skin, some of us have light skin. It just depends on the arrangement of genes, genetic material. I think all of us, regardless of our skin color, are going to be affected by this quantum shift where we're programmed by the sun and the celestial bodies. And that's why our DNA becomes activated again as we go through these cycles. That it probably is something that happened anyway, regardless. But when we have a magnetic pole shift, it allows these other entities to come through into this particular realm. And so that would have been why at that time period, these entities came through and started tampering with our DNA, all of us, and started trying to control us. And now we're going through another shift. So it's possible that they can no longer operate at this level anymore. Whoever these beings were have to go back to wherever they came from. Or it could be that it was an experiment by these other beings that were actually from a more advanced, higher realm. As we're told, the fallen angels were actually angels that fell into this realm, and because they were more advanced, they sought to control the beings that were here already. You know, these are all just theories, but every day it's being backed up by scientific.
Melanin. Most people only think of it as the pigment that colors our skin. But this molecule does something far more than just paint us. It protects, connects, and communicates with the light that sustains us on Earth. Melanin is a complex biopolymer found in animals, humans, and plants. It absorbs ultraviolet radiation, shielding our DNA from damage, and it converts a portion of that light into usable chemical energy, almost like a natural solar panel. It's in the hair, skin, and eyes, and even inside the brain and inner ear. Without melanin, life on this planet will be far more vulnerable to the sun that gives it power. Ancient civilizations sensed that there was something sacred about this dark substance. In Egyptian temples, the color black wasn't a symbol of death. It was fertility, rebirth, and divine potential. They saw the darkness of the soil and the cosmos as the womb of creation itself. Across Africa and the ancient world, darkness meant origin, not absence. When light meets melanin, energy is transformed and stored. That exchange between light and darkness is the same dance that powers the galaxies, photosynthesis, and human life. It's the cosmic rhythm written in our biology, a reminder that we are not separate from nature. We are nature expressing itself. Somewhere along history, darkness began associated with fear or negativity. But scientifically and spiritually, darkness is the start of creation. Every star is born in the dark. Even seeds sprout in darkness. To honor melanin is to honor that creative principle, that intelligence that turns energy into life. So the truth about melanin isn't just about color. It's about connection to light, to Earth, and the universe itself. It reminds us how intertwined we are with cosmic energy, how connected everything and everyone is, especially if you're a melanated person. You are extravagant. And it's not that you're better than everyone else, it's just that you are amazing. And you need to know that. Remember, the universe expresses itself through every shade of creation. And melanin.
Have you noticed how decolonized societies hold strong into colonial philosophy? Did you know about the massive skin bleaching and colorism practices that is suffocating Africa and parts of the Caribbean? There is a connection to be made between those two. See, colonialism and white supremacy at large has designed and installed a psychological control, a philosophy that defines and classifies humanity through pigmentocracy. On top of the stage is the white man, the Caucasian race, and on the bottom, the Negro, the black race. Within that philosophy, the more melanin deficient you are, the more you go higher on that hierarchy of pigments. The more you are human, the more you're valuable, the more you are smart, the more you are beautiful. This has been the worldview and the official standard for so long that even today, previously colonized people have factored this pigmentocracy within the way in which they define beauty and the beautiful. A lot of the people who bleach today wouldn't really tell you about a certain desire to become white or anything white adjacent, but there really is a desire to genocide the melanin within them so they can get higher in that hierarchy of beauty that is influenced by pigmentocracy. The skin bleaching scene at a global stage is a 9 billion worth economy and a 0.9 billion industry in the data that's only take into consideration Africa and the Middle East. Approximately 45% of African women have been documented as bleached.
I am not pro-black, and here's why. Pro-blackness is an extremely flawed concept. Pro-blackness is rife with colorism and ableism and homophobia. And in pro-black spaces, this is never acknowledged. Pro-blackness is also rife with misogyny war. And I've seen conversations happening about pro-blackness recently, about how you cannot be pro-black and date outside of your race. If you believe that, that's fair. I'm not trying to convince you to change your beliefs. But I personally am more weary of pro-black people in pro-black spaces because I've been in those spaces and I know those people and they are colorist and ableist and homophobic. Pro-blackness is what is keeping a lot of black women stuck. If you are a race loyalist, that is perfectly okay. Pro-blackness is also rife with respectability politics. I saw a video from a black male creator just recently, and he mentioned the fact that a lot of pro-black creators are dating outside of their race. I'm gonna stop you there. A lot of us do not consider ourselves pro-black creators. Me personally, I am pro-black woman, which means that I prioritize the health and well-being of black women. I love black women and I center black women in my advocacy and elsewhere. But I've lived on this earth for 33 years. And you know what I know? Many of you want what white people have. You want the power. You want the control. Pro-black should be a space for all black people, but it isn't. It is a space for able-bodied, cishet black men. If you consider yourself pro-black, I'm not here to step on your toes. Kudos to you. Until pro-black spaces become spaces for all black people, then I won't be in those spaces. Black women, date who you want. That shit is cool.
We black people are exactly like plants, and let me tell you why. Black people, like plants, have a special relationship with the sun due to its essential role in their well-being and health. So just as plants need sunlight for photosynthesis to grow, black people need sunlight to produce vitamin D. And this vitamin is actually crucial for bone health, immune function, and overall well-being. So let's take an example. If you take a plant and put it in a cave with no sunlight, it will stop photosynthesizing, stop growing, its leaves will yellow and wilt, and it will eventually die. And now, if you put a black person in the cave with no sunlight, it can lead to weaker bones, muscle weakness, immune issues, mood problems, and a higher risk of chronic disease. So melanin in black skin acts like a natural sunscreen. So similar to how some plants have protective mechanism against excessive sunlight. So the more melanin you have and the more you absorbs and blocks UVB rays, making it harder to produce vitamin D. And vitamin D is actually made in the skin when the skin is exposed to sunlight. Both plants and black people rely on sunlight to regulate their biological rhythms. So do not hide yourself from the sun, okay? We are the sun people. Black people are actually the sun people. We need it to survive, to have a better health. We need sun. The sun is like actually your mom because it will help you to grow. It will help you to have a better health. It will nourish your inner body, okay? So you need eat. You need to eat, okay? But be aware, because we black people can still get a sunburn, okay? So enjoy it, expose yourself to the sun, but do not forget that excessive sunlight exposure can actually burn you. So be aware of that. But yes, do not be scared of the sun. The sun is your best friend.
Did you know that melanin is worth more than gold on the market? Over $300 a gram. That is how valuable it is. Melanin isn't just about skin color, it's a natural superpower. It protects against UV radiation, slows down aging, and even absorbs harmful free radicals in the body. In the brain, neuromelanin safeguards memory, learning, and higher thinking. That is why researchers and industries prize it so highly. It can be used in medicine, electronics, even solar energy because of how it absorbs and conducts light. So for darker skinned people, melanin is more than science, it's a legacy. Our skin holds the highest concentration of eumelanin on Earth, a biological inheritance shaped by the sun. And throughout history, blackness and melanin were devalued and oppressed, even though the world quietly acknowledges its priceless worth. So when we say melanin is power, it's not just a saying, it is fact, biologically, spiritually, and economically. And the real contradiction is that for centuries, black skin, dark skin, melanated skin, however you want to call it, was demonized. But melanin, the very thing that makes it black, is now worth more than gold. During colonization, dark skin was painted as a curse, a reason to oppress and dehumanize. European pseudoscience even created fake hierarchies to claim whiteness was superior while stripping darker skinned people of pride in their own skin. At the same time, science quietly discovered melanin's power. It protects DNA, heals the body, and absorbs energy in ways no other substance can. Today, industries study melanin for medicine, military tech, and solar energy, yet society still undervalues the very people it comes from. It's a bitter truth, but the world profits off melanin's properties while historically trying.
Your melanin is worth more than you give it credit for, because you are ashamed to be black, because they have shamed you into thinking blackness is bad. That's why you fall behind BIPOC and people of color and minorities and unification and all these other trick bag terms, because black scares you. That's why I put my black ass face on the front of that book and called it The Real Black Agenda. Go look up the mission statement of the Congressional Asian Pacific Caucus. Go look up the mission statement of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and then look up the mission statement of the Congressional Black Caucus. I'll save you the trouble, and I'm paraphrasing for sake of time. It says on the Congressional Asian Caucus, we are here to secure the American dream for Asian Americans. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus says we are here to secure the American dream for Hispanic people. The Congressional Black Caucus says we want to secure the American dream for minorities and underprivileged people and people of color and everyone, and we want I'd like to teach the world to sing. Are you serious?
Top myths about black skin that you need to stop believing. I'm an aesthetic nurse who specializes in melanin-rich skin, here to set the record straight. Myth number 1, black don't crack. Yes, we're blessed with more melanin, which gives some natural protection, but that doesn't mean we're immune to wrinkles or sagging. Collagen loss happens to everyone, and treatments like laser, microneedling, and PRP, all natural filler, can keep your skin looking young and firm. Myth number 2, black skin can handle anything. Nope. Black skin actually can be more prone to hyperpigmentation or dark spots. Good skincare and gentle treatments done by the right skin professional can lighten dark spots without irritation. Bringing us to myth number 3. Laser isn't safe for black skin. This is a common myth, and I get it, because we've seen or heard the stories of black people getting burned by laser. But there are certain lasers that are incredibly safe and effective in treating black skin. They can help with everything from hyperpigmentation, acne, scarring, ingrown hairs, without causing burns or scarring. So don't let outdated beliefs hold you back from your ultimate skin glow up. Black skin is unique, and so are its needs. Make sure you find a skin professional who's educated and experienced in treating black skin, like Janelle Beauty.
Every time I see melanin in the sun and just seeing what the sun does to our skin, it literally turns into liquid gold. I just think to myself, racism is really stupid.
Truth regarding the genetic differences between blacks and whites. The core of the human brain is the locus coeruleus, which is a structure that is black because it contains large amounts of neuromelanin, which is essential for its operation. 2, black infants sit, crawl, and walk sooner than whites. 3, Carol Barnes notes that human mental processes are controlled by melanin, that same chemical which gives blacks their superior physical and mental abilities. 4, some scientists have revealed that most whites are unable to produce melanin because their pineal glands are often calcified or non-functioning. Pineal calcification rates with Africans are 5 to 15%, Asians 15 to 25%, and Europeans 60 to 80%. This is the chemical basis for the cultural differences between blacks and whites. And 5, melanin endows blacks with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities, something which cannot be measured based on...
They be playing in our faces. To the person watching this right now, go look up drinkable melanin. Drinkable melanin. And then ask yourself, where you think they got that from? Look at the smiles on their faces while they taking it and everything. Just soak it all in. And ask yourself, where you think they got that from? And how do you feel about that? They be playing in our faces. To the person watching this right now, go look up drinkable melanin. Drinkable melanin. And then ask yourself, where you think they got that from? Look at the smiles on their faces while they taking it and everything. Just soak it all in. And ask yourself, where you think they got that from? And how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it? I feel that is not real. I've never known a single white person to drink any tanning product. I've known some who took peptides to tan greater. White people can already produce the eumelanin, which creates black and brown skin. So we produce both pheomelanin and eumelanin. There's a balance of that pigmentation to create red and blonde hair, as well as darker hairs. It has nothing to do with magic related to being an African person. Definitely not something related to the ongoing conflict in Sudan. White people are not scooping up dead bodies from Sudan. I think most Americans and white people in general, actually every single white person, would probably be appalled at the idea of drinking an elixir made of a dead body. Nobody would buy that. It would not be commercially available. It would be illegal. People selling that would be arrested. Absolutely nobody is trying to consume black people for their magic. See, because white people, of course, want to look just like black people. That's why they tan. They want to be like black people, but they don't want our struggles. Well, you'd think that that black magic, that magic that comes with your melanin, would really help you because, you know, melanin makes you just more powerful.
It's clean.
So we drinking melanin now? I feel like we living in another dimension. This shit don't make no sense. I guess drink to find the darkness within.
You Caucasian people never fail me. Like, how is there a thing called drinkable melanin? Like, the sun, you tanning your cells and shit wasn't enough, so y'all have to invent a drink called drinkable melanin. Let's see how that works for you.
So the reason why we have melanin is scientific, it's biological. You know, melanin is not a social construct. It's not something you go and buy in the shop and you inject yourself or you drink, you know. But people are trying to make an extent of gaining the melanin. Melanin is not a just thing. It's not just a tiny thing like this. Melanin is a compound. It is a chemical compound found in the skin of people, you know, of black people. So the more melanin you have, the more of that compound you have in you. And that's a very huge advantage, you know. If you compare the ancient people of Africa, they used to live long. They used to walk in the sun barefoot, you know, and they were very dark people. And even I myself, I am a descendant of those people. They were dark like this, my shirt, you know, very, very dark. but they lived longer than the average people are living today. Those people could even hit 120 plus going on. Nowadays, you get to 60, just 60. You have lived to your best of life. You are almost becoming a cripple because of you are trying to wipe off your melanin. Melanin is a compound that gives you strength. It gives you immune. It protects you. It is spiritual. You have the color of the soil. You are like clay. Clay soil is black, so you are clay. So you should maintain what that color God gave you. God knows why he gave black people the black melanin. Why do you think they keep fighting us every now and then? It's because we have the melanin. You have the melanin. The devil wants the melanin, and so he will fight you to get it. So don't rush and try to whiten yourself. You make your face white, but if you look at these corners, are very dark. If you look at the neck is very dark, and the face is shining. If you look at the neck is very dark, but the face. So you are like, In as much as you try to whiten yourself, we can still see the blackness. We can see the darkness. The blackness, not darkness. Darkness is a bad thing, but the blackness, we can see it, right? So if you can see that white people are crying to get melanin, it should tell you that what you have is very special. Very special to the extent that you should give thanks to your parents for giving birth to you, and you should give thanks to Jesus for letting you live in Africa. Africa is special. I'm telling you that. Yeah. And I mean it. I really do mean it. Africa is a special country. Country, yes, not continent, country. If I say continent, I'm bringing the whole idea of the 54 countries, but I'm seeing only one country, one huge landmass called Alkebulan. Yeah. Yeah, I know you may have some ideas apart from mine, some perspectives apart from mine. I would really love to hear from you. Share them. Let's continue this discussion in the comment section. Watch it. This is EFK original documentaries. EFK for Evans from Kenya. See you in the next one. Stay positive.